Ferrari's season has gotten off to a rocky start, with just 3 podiums and any hope of a championship challenge quickly dissolving into disappointment and failed potential. Having finished 2024 so strongly, with the most podiums of any team over the final 11 races, they were expected to be competing for race wins and challenging for a title this year, but they haven't been anywhere near a race win so far and have less than half the points of Constructors' Championship leaders McLaren. The pressure at the team is building, and the Ferrari board's patience is wearing thin. The question is now being asked: do they have faith in the team's management to find success in the new regulations, or do they need a change? Today, I'll check out the man that Ferrari wants to take over the running of their F1 team, so don't go anywhere. The Canadian Grand Prix was yet another disappointing performance from Ferrari this season. They were the slowest of the top 4 teams, with Charles Leclerc taking 5th ahead of Lewis Hamilton, whose race was compromised by hitting a groundhog on lap 13, which damaged his car's floor and cost him some downforce. Leclerc spent most of the race complaining about the strategy decisions the team made, something that has become all too common in recent years. While their race pace was simply not good enough, there were opportunities for Ferrari to get a much better result last weekend, which they failed to grasp. Leclerc, who crashed in FP1 and skipped FP2 as a result, looked on course to mix it up on the front 2 rows until he suffered a snap in dirty air during qualifying, leaving him 8th on the grid with Hamilton 5th. With Hamilton's car damaged and Leclerc starting so far back, the team had to take a gamble to get anywhere near the podium places, but decided against rolling the dice with Leclerc, preferring to play it safe and settle for mediocrity. The Monegasque felt confident he could have pulled off a one-stop race, but instead, the team converted him to a 2-stopper, which guaranteed he would finish well behind the frontrunners. It was a decision made by a team low on confidence, being bombarded with criticism and paralyzed by fear over what would be said about them in Monday's papers. Leclerc was furious at the decision, and the lack of ambition shown by the Ferrari pit wall was yet another disappointment in a season that promised so much from the Italian side. He's right that we've not that much to lose when you're behind the pack, Vasseur conceded. We can take some risks, but for us, it was a bit too optimistic to do one stint of 50 laps with the hards in terms of tyre life. We were missing, probably also, some laps during the weekend to estimate it. After the race, Leclerc did take the blame for his 5th place finish rather than pushing the narrative onto the team's strategy choices. Honestly, I think today is kind of the result of my mistakes he summarized. FP1, qualifying, the traffic, all in all, I think that puts us a little bit in a difficult situation because we start further back on the grid. Then for strategy, there's been a bit of talk on the radio. I was of the opinion that the one-stop could work. The team was more of the opinion that the 2-stop was the right way. Eventually, the team is making the final call because they have more information than I do. I wanted to make it clear this was not what I was thinking, but I understand. I will speak with the team and I'll explain to them what I saw that made me think that this was the wrong choice. Overall, I don't think that this has completely changed our race result. Eventually, that's where we deserve to finish. Sadly for Ferrari, there has always been an excuse this season. Every weekend it feels like there is some mistake that they're blaming the result on. At some point, they aren't just mistakes though, they're just how the team operates. Maybe, if they do manage to win a race this season, that would actually be the mistake because something must have gone differently for them to perform perfectly over a whole weekend. Ferrari aren't giving up on this season. There is a new suspension to come, but any upgrades at this point will be too little too late. They are 191 points behind McLaren in the team championship, and Leclerc is 94 points off the lead of the Drivers' Championship, with Hamilton a further 25 back. There isn't any math you can do to make those results look good, and this season has been a disaster for the Scuderia. Things at Ferrari are obviously not going to plan, and they haven't been going to plan for years now. Obviously, something needs to change, but what do you change? Do you blame the drivers? Do you blame the strategy team? Do you blame the car? Honestly, at times, all of those have been to blame. When a team is falling short in so many ways, as Ferrari are at the moment, the board will be looking to make a big change. Something that could switch the whole mentality of the team and give them a kickstart toward a more competitive future. Whether team principal Fred Vasseur is at fault for Ferrari's failures this season or not, with so much going wrong at the team, the blame has to eventually fall onto him, and Ferrari have a replacement for him in mind. Before I talk about that though, if you're enjoying the video and want to catch all the news and analysis from the rest of the 2025 F1 season, then make sure to press the like button and subscribe to F1 Reverse. Thanks a lot. Vasseur joined Ferrari in December of 2022 following the departure of Matteo Binotto, leading to the Italian team being partly rebuilt in his image. Ferrari enjoyed their most successful season for some time in 2024, falling just 14 points short of the constructors' champions McLaren, with 5 wins split between Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz. They then managed to persuade Hamilton to leave Mercedes early to join the team, something that Hamilton has said wouldn't have ever happened without Vasseur at the helm. However, this year, their performances have collapsed, and Ferrari have been headhunting a new team principal. Last month, Christian Horner was at the center of rumors that Ferrari were trying to convince him to join the team as team principal. However, Horner basically has his own team at Red Bull where he controls everything that happens. Moving to the politicking halls of Ferrari would be a huge downgrade in terms of control over the team, something that no team principal wants. For Ferrari, despite Horner's impressive record, he would be far from the perfect fit. They need someone who understands how Ferrari works, how their structure limits what's possible, and what can be done to get the best out of that system. And at the WEC team, they have just that. Last weekend's Le Mans 24-hour was the 4th race of this year's World Endurance Championship, and the 4th race won by a Ferrari car project led by Antonello Coletta. With Vasseur's contract coming to an end at the end of this season, and Ferrari president John Elkann's confidence in Coletta at an all-time high, it's easy to see why the Italian media are confident that a change is coming, and it is Coletta who will be the new team principal of the Ferrari F1 team. The hypercar project that Coletta helped set up was something that John Elkann had wanted for many years, to try and bring Ferrari back to the top of endurance racing after a 50-year absence from the competition. It was an immediate success upon its return to Le Mans in 2023. In fact, they've won the race, which is one of the most prestigious in the world of motorsport, for the past 3 years, all thanks to the incredible work of Coletta and his team. He has turned down the offer of the F1 team principal role before, but it's unlikely that John Elkann would accept being rejected twice. It would be a very different project for Coletta to take over though. Rather than setting up a new team and building it in his image from the get-go, he would have to overhaul the dysfunctional beast that has replaced the once successful F1 team at Maranello. He would have to tear down departments, remove long-standing staff members, and be given the freedom to do what he wants with a team that at the moment is half run by the board of directors, something that has long been a detriment to it. However, for that to happen, those who have meddled in the Ferrari F1 team for far too long would have to admit that they are the problem, something that will probably never happen. Change does need to happen at Ferrari, but changing team principals isn't going to solve the problems. The issues lie even further up than Fred, and if those that run the wider Ferrari brand can't stop interfering with how the F1 team is run, then they'll never find success, whether it is Fred, Horner, or Coletta who sit as team principal. Do you think Fred's job is in trouble this season? Will changing the team principal make any difference? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and if you want to support the channel, then make sure to check out f1reverse.com to get yourself some sweet F1 inspired gear. And until next time, drive safe and bye for now.